Hello, it's time for the best kind of news. It's time for something good. Hello, it's time for the best kind of news. It's time for something good. Welcome to Something Good. I'm Tim Gerber. We have nothing but positivity to share.
And I'm Stefania Jimenez. All 7 Graham Media Group stations have been reporting your acts of kindness, your good deeds, your good news.
Like pay it forward moments, people making the best of situations. In Lynchburg, Virginia, a cashier took it upon herself to pay for a customer's groceries. That gesture was not overlooked. The customer's response made this good story a great one. More on that later.
And how about communities rallying together to support not just their neighbor, but also a country under attack? You're going to see how sweetness is helping the people of Ukraine coming up.
But we start in Orlando, where an 11-year-old boy has become somewhat of a celebrity. His name is Kellen Jackley, and he's gone through 5 open-heart surgery. He's a warrior.
He's also a YouTuber, and his channel features him interviewing celebrities and showcasing his charisma. He's become an ambassador for Give Kids the World, an organization that provides week-long free vacations for the critically ill and their families.
Kellen's story is an inspiration, and his smile and words are helping others fight through tough times.
Fans of the Florida Fanatics YouTube channel are familiar with 11-year-old Kellen Jackley's celebrity interviews. The Give Kids the World ambassador chats with famous visitors to the village.
It's obviously starstruck, but it's just like being next to a very famous person, asking them a few questions was awesome, and I loved it so much. It was probably like the best thing that I've ever done.
And like every host, Jackley has his favorite.
Who has been your biggest inspiration?
Oh, that's an easy one. So I have a great mother.
Mark Long from The Challenge.
It was just a really fun interview, and I just love that interview so much. I don't really get nervous. I kind of just roll with it.
Jackley and his family first visited Give Kids the World in 2014 for a wish trip.
I was actually born with half a heart, and I had 5 open heart surgeries, and all the medicine was like really yucky, and it was just really, really scary.
But Jackley says his life changed when he walked into the village for the first time. He created this painting depicting what Give Kids the World means to him.
So all the darkness represents when I was in the hospital with yucky medicine and surgery, And all this light represents when I walked into Give Kids World Village, and all that darkness is just fading away.
After that life-changing trip, the Jackley family moved from Pennsylvania to be closer to the village and pay it forward. The original of this painting was actually auctioned for more than $8,000.
I'm like, are you sure? I'm like, that can't be possible.
With every cent going to Give Kids the World, bringing other families from darkness to light.
You got this. Even if it's the worst medicine you have ever tasted or the worst surgery you've ever had, you just got this. You rock. You can get through it.
I now pronounce you husband and wife. Yeah.
It's one of the most unforgettable wedding dates of the century.
I would never forget this day. February 22nd, 2022, on Tuesday.
Tuesday also falls on a Tuesday this year. The 5-number sequence of 22222 is a palindrome, meaning the numbers read the same backwards as they do forward.
Look at each other.
Pat Blissett is a chaplain at the Courthouse Wedding Chapel. She's officiating 9 weddings today, a more common occurrence any other day of the week.
Not for a Tuesday. Not for a Tuesday, usually for Valentine's Day, but this year Valentine's Day was very light.
Mr. and Mrs. David and Stacy Sanchez.
Newlyweds Stacy and David Sanchez tied the knot this Tuesday.
Just easy to remember, honestly, and 22 has been just seemed like a special date for us because we started dating August 22nd.
This ring I give to you.
It's a second chance at love for both.
This is both our second marriage, and it's just different feeling when you know it's with the right person, you know.
Joshua Jackson married the mother of his 2 children today, though he originally wanted to walk down the aisle on 2222.
And we actually took the last reserve for the marriage, and it just happens to be one of those days because of the numbers.
There's no excuse for forgetting your wedding date.
Easy to remember.
Yeah, I don't have the greatest memory, so she did it for me.
I love this. Oh, girl.
Betty Jo Williams has been riding since 12 years old, thrown into the saddle by her uncle.
Just hold on. She'll do the work. And that's all I did was sit there and hold on. And every time a calf come by, hey, she was after it.
Even at age 68, it doesn't take much to get her boots back in the stirrups. She can still do a barrel pattern, albeit a little slower than the good old days when she was breaking into the rodeo circuit.
Yeah, I was the only black girl there.
This was back in the early 80s when her friend and rodeo partner Sherry Mel was winning world championships.
I got her in the Women's Pro Rodeo Association, and she started going to the all-girl rodeos with me. She competed right there beside me. She wasn't just there as a sidekick. She was competing.
And she helped Betty Jo.
She kind of got a little timid and say, you know, I'm the onlyest black one here. And I said, well, it's okay. You're here to do the same thing that everybody else is doing, you know.
They knew I was with Sherry Mel. They know she was going to say something. So she kind of, you know.
So Sherry was kind of your protector on the circuit.
Yes. She never gave up on me.
These 4 veterans being praised for a valiant mission. Hup Hupman, Bill Cimino, Paul Lohr, and Cameron Hansen, each representing a different part of the military. They rode 3,000 miles across the Atlantic Ocean from late November to earlier this month, bringing attention to veteran PTSD and suicide.
When you're not feeling like up to par, like you really want to row, it's like, how dare you? Because when you think of this program and the dogs and who they're going to and what those people are going through.
Another part of this journey was raising money for K9 for Warriors, as it prepares to open a new training facility for these dogs who will eventually be paired with a veteran who need them.
We have a 4-year wait list, but the Mega Kennel is going to help us beat off that wait list and get it down, and it's going to be perfect.
Roughly 22 veterans die by suicide every day, meaning possibly 1,000 people lost their lives while these veterans were on their journey.
Until we can drive that number down to zero, there's never going to be enough we can do.
These are our sons, these are our daughters, these are our aunts, our uncles, nephews, nieces that we're losing every day.
Saving more lives is the hope.
Twenty-three-year-old Asia Graves has only been working at Kroger on Wards Road in Lynchburg for 3 weeks. She was ringing up groceries when a woman walked up to the register with a full cart.
She asked if we had Apple Pay, but then I told her that we didn't. So she said she was going to run to the car.
By the time the woman came back inside to tell Asia she left her wallet at home, Asia had already paid for all of her groceries, about $50 worth.
I didn't expect her to react like she did.
The woman was so moved, she went and told everyone about Asia's kind gesture on Facebook, and it blew up.
The Living in Lynchburg page actually popped up, and I saw the word Kroger, and I said, oh gosh, I gotta read it.
Haley Gray has been with Kroger for 15 years. She hired Asia and was honored to hear she'd gone above and beyond for a customer.
She is a perfect fit for our team and perfect fit for modeling customer service and what we work towards day in and day out.
But the story doesn't end here. The next day, the woman came back to the store to find Asia, paying her back double what the groceries cost, giving her a gift basket, and writing her a letter. Sometimes when we give, it comes back to us. Asia's act of kindness is paying off.
There's going to be a lot of obstacles that try to stop you or slow you down, but just keep looking at the bigger picture.
Welcome back. We want to tell you about another show we're working on. It's called Solutionaries. Solutionaries highlights the creative problem solvers tackling some major issues like the climate crisis.
We are really, really close to a tipping point.
The last thing I want to do is say we did a damn good job monitoring them into extinction. I'd rather say we did a damn good job in actually restoring them and bringing them back.
95% of Florida's coral reefs are under attack, but politicians and volunteers are working to create healthier conditions. Scan the QR code to see solutions to issues like this.
You'll also see how burying a loved one at sea can foster new reef growth and help marine life thrive. And the amazing stories don't stop there. Our YouTube page is full of smart people with ingenious ideas to help our communities.
Make sure to share and subscribe. You can find more at solutionariesnetwork.com. Now back to the show.
The owners of Like a Cheesecake and Espresso told me they knew when they put out the word that they wanted to help the people of Ukraine, there would be some interest. But San Antonians came through in a big way. They had a steady line of people here eager to help those on the front lines. The images are not easy to take. Bombed out buildings, people clamoring for cover from Russia's assault. While that war zone may be many miles away, the plight of the people there hits home for some locally.
Everybody's there. All my friends and my family are there.
Ukraine native Anna Afanasieva is co-owner of Like a Cheesecake and Espresso in Alamo Heights.
Yeah, and it's really hard for me to watch everything from the distance without being able to affect it in any way.
She decided to turn her helpless feelings into an offer of help, donating the day's proceeds to the people of her homeland. It quickly became clear that customers also were standing by this cause.
The Ukrainian nation just stay strong, keep pulling together as one nation.
Watching the trouble on his TV inspired Chris Medellin to take his place in line. one of hundreds who showed up.
I'm very, very grateful for all the support that we received.
The turnout, she says, was overwhelming in more ways than one. A sweet gesture from bakery customers to help with such a bitter situation.
On the ice, skating side by side, brothers Jamel and Giovanni Smith playing on the same team at the same time.
It's been like a once-in-a-lifetime experience, to be honest with you. We never played on the same team growing up because of the age difference.
And it happened during Black History Month. Born and raised in Toronto, 27-year-old Jamel is 4 years older than his brother Giovanni.
So the first Black brothers to play in this whole entire franchise ever. You've made history.
Jeez, when things slow down and we look back on it, I think it's going to bring a tear to our eyes.
Sadly, their time as teammates was short-lived. 2 days after my interview, Jamel was traded to Tampa.
So was this the dream, to play in the NHL?
Yeah, it's definitely, obviously, it's a goal of ours that you don't think you can at that age, but you know it's in the back of your mind, and I think that was definitely the goal ever since you kind of set eyes on that you're a good player.
Good players, and also Black, in a predominantly white sport.
There's going to be a lot of obstacles that try to stop you or slow you down, but just keep looking at the bigger picture.
Don't let anyone say you can't do anything, and don't let anyone try to stop you. So.
Okay, Maricot, is that comfortable?
For the first time in 2 years, Maricot Thatch will be able to hear clearly.
Hearing loss is not a straight line. It's generally different frequencies have different losses.
Maricot learned of her hearing loss in middle school and has used hearing aids since. But when she lost hers a couple years ago, she's gone without them. Now she's ready to experience all the sounds again.
Go walking in nature and hear all the different sounds that it goes, like water running, birds chirping, all that.
With this gift, Maricot is ready to live her life out loud.
When you can't hear, it's like a silent world.
There's not a lot of doors for African Americans to be able to get that type of intensive help.
Hundreds of thousands of meals, breakfast and lunch and snack for 6 schools in the Jacksonville area. So that became a big passion for us.
Forks on the Left Catering was on the brink of a business expansion before the pandemic hit. From catering to food service management with local schools across the River City, the company had big plans for 2020.
That kind of took the wind out of that sail.
Connie Kersey remembering the moment the pandemic severely impacted her business. Once it hit, the company had to pivot and shift to meal prepping, online orders, and deliveries to stay afloat. Struggling to keep their business thriving, the Kerseys had to seek new ways to obtain additional funding to keep moving forward during uncertain times.
There's not a lot of doors for African Americans to be able to get that type of intensive help.
That lifeline was PepsiCo Foundation's Black Restaurant Accelerator program. The foundation is partnering with the National Urban League to offer Black restaurant owners across the country capital, technical assistance, mentorship, and other essential business tools.
Only 2% of Black-owned businesses received any money in the first round of PPP loans. So, and if we go even further, the playing field wasn't level before that.
If it had not been for this grant, where would you all be at now?
We've been a year behind. We've been trying to get loans all those different things. And at this point right now, it would have been pretty dire.
A dream not deferred. With this funding, Forks on the Left Catering was able to expand its marketing and update equipment for larger catering events.
For a small business, it is a challenge to be able to get the type of grant that we got from them.
My husband went up there and he got on one of those bunny hills and he came down screaming and hollering, "I'm hooked, I'm hooked."
It's the thrill of the sport that these skiers love, never mind the cold weather. They're members of the Jim Dandy Ski Club, the country's oldest black ski club.
Well, the Jim Dandy Ski Club is a club that was started in 1958 by three young African-American men. And they went to ski. And when they went up north, the treatment and the accommodations that they got or were supposed to get, they were turned away.
How were they treated?
Well, they had reserved rooms, and when they got there, they said they didn't have any reservations.
Why was there no reservation for these three young black men?
Certainly due to racism. I mean, this was the 50s.
Fellow ski club member Clotilde Harris grew up hating the cold weather.
Being taught that you don't like cold weather, it probably goes back to the slavery days, where the slave owners didn't want the slaves to run north, so they told them it was too cold to run north. And it just got into the brains of all the people who were going north.
Today, the Jim Dandy Ski Club boasts about 200 members. The oldest member, Helen Gentry, started the year after it was founded and even knew the men who started it. She's now in her 90s.
The equipment is better. The slopes grew well. The lifts, when we started, there were no really ski lifts. We used toll roads.
And now these ski club members ski not just here in Michigan, but all over the country and world. And yes, everyone is invited.
We're inclusive. You know, we have Caucasian members that are part of our club, and heck, they speak of our club more than we do.
It's just so important for everyone in my generation and in other generations to give back to a cause that they're passionate about.
Julia Gormley found that passion after learning about Operation Smile, a global nonprofit that creates new smiles by providing free reconstructive cleft lip and cleft palate surgeries for low-income families.
I got to meet all of these different people online and listen to success stories, motivational speakers, all these people who were just so inspired by Operation Smile.
Hearing about the impact the nonprofit has had around the world sparked inspiration in the 16-year-old to do more for her community. This year, she began a new club at her high school.
A smile bag is like a little goodie bag that's given to a family with a child going into cleft lip, cleft palate surgery.
About 20 bags will be delivered to Arnold Palmer Children's Hospital in Orlando.
We don't always see what other people go through. I was able to appreciate my community, not just my local community, but my school community, the Operation Smile community.
The teen who hopes to become a nurse says it's been a fulfilling experience.
Being kind, just like a simple action, can really make a difference.
Thank you so much for watching.
Remember, you can find more good news on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/somethinggoodshow. Hours and hours of the best kind of stories to watch and share. And don't forget to subscribe.
You can also become part of the good news movement by logging onto somethinggood.show and sharing your good news with us. We'll see you next time.
Stay happy and healthy.